Okie dokie. Well, hey there, everyone. It's Anthony, back with another video on single and play safe. Hi. Hope you're having a fantastic day, weekday, weekend, week, month, evening, morning, overnight, all of that good stuff. Thanks so much for clicking on this video and deciding to watch it. I appreciate it, and make sure to leave in the comments how things are going for you. Well, yeah, today is Saturday, the, I think, 16th of November, and I'm out here with the baby boy, putting some steps in. We actually went on a walk this morning. Then we went on a short kind of hike slash stroll up at Lookout Mountain, right up there, the top of that. And my intention was to film a little vlog up there, or maybe a whip and jam, and I brought the drone. Supposed to have a good time up there. Well, we get up there and it is icy, like no new snow, but the snow that's there was really slick and icy because it's been partially melting and then freezing again and melting and then freezing again. So it was very slick. The drone does not like to film in snow. I've tried it a couple different times, or with snow on the ground, because it uses its sensors to sense where the ground is, and it's looking for like darker colors, and it's looking for texture. So sometimes when you turn it on, it's like, please make sure you're in a well-lit, textured environment, so it knows the ground level, what's high, what's low, so it can go up and down. It's an entry-level budget drone, so it doesn't have as sophisticated as sensors as some other drones, and it doesn't have GPS, so it doesn't know where it is in the world. And it doesn't know exactly all of its surroundings to avoid stuff. It just has very kind of basic sensors at the bottom, so it can try to, it gauges that it's not just going to slam into the ground, that type of thing. But when there's snow on the ground and it's all just flat white, it does not know what to do. So it was acting really wild. It was having a hard time recognizing me. And then once it started recognizing me, and then I would set it to follow, it's supposed to, as it's following me from behind, it's supposed to be able to avoid trees and branches and stuff. It was flying right into every, like if I was walking under a tree like this, it would just fly right into the tree. Didn't even move an inch, as if it knew that there was even a tree there. So I don't know if I need to do a software update or it's just not very good, but I mean, it wasn't even making a vague attempt to avoid stuff. So it just kept smacking into trees as I was walking under them, and I'll put in some clips. I'll see what it did record, but I'll put in some bloopers maybe at the end of this, just so I can show you that it was just, it was comical how poorly it was doing at avoiding stuff. It's like, are you kidding me? Like very slowly flying into a branch, and I'm like, why aren't you moving? Move! So yeah, so now I know it works best in a clear, open environment where I'm not dealing with trees. So like when I went to the off-leash dog park with Apollo and did that whip and jam, that's like the perfect area because it's just like a big open field. That's like the biggest, that's the best kind of best terrain for that drone. But what it does tell me is if I want to get into this, then upgrading to one that actually has good sensors is going to be something I'm probably going to want to do, because this poor thing, we could not go on any kind of hike in the mountains, like through the woods with that thing. No way. It would just be slamming into everything and losing sight of me. So I will most likely, I'm going to keep using this one so I can keep playing with the shots, and it does well in flat open areas. But I'm going to keep practicing, getting better. I'm going to start doing some more manual controls with it. But it is leading me into, I'm most likely going to get like a big boy one eventually. So yeah. So I did that today. And then also on top of that, Apollo was acting really squirrely. Because once he's in snow, he turns into a little wolf boy and wants to run and just wig out. Because he loves snow. Snow triggers something inside of his part wolf brain. And he just was like, yes! Hop up. Hop up. Good boy. Good boy. Yeah. So he was acting a little squirrely. The drone was going off on its own and slamming into things. I was slipping and sliding all over the path, and I was just like, okay, all right. So I turned off the drone. I was like, we're giving up on this idea of me filming anything up here. And I was just going to do the drone and then my microphone, so I didn't even have the camera that you're seeing this on. So I was like, well, filming up here today is a bust. So I came back down. We finished the hike. We did a couple miles up there. We finished it, but I was just listening to an audiobook while we were up there. And then on the way down, we stopped at this place called Chow Down, which is a pet food store up in Evergreen. I think I've mentioned it before. We went in there, and they were fully staffed. Like, they had quite a few staff members. It is a very big store, and it's like a very nice specialty pet food store, or pet supply store. And so everyone was freaking out about Apollo and how cute he is and yada yada yada. So we actually spent a good amount of time in there because people were wanting to pet him and talk to me about the food that I'm feeding him because his coat is so smooth and soft and this and that. And what did one lady say? She's like, his eyes aren't even really blue, they're like white. It's crazy. He's got the clearest eyes. And, just on and on, feeding him treats left, right, and center. I mean, he got stuffed full of treats. And they were talking to me about just everything, training tips. And they were like, you have to come back up here on this day because we have a trainer up here that does little like consultations, and we've got this and that. And let's go see if we can get Apollo's food, because I told him, I was like, this is the food that I feed him, but I get it online because I can usually use a discount code. And she's like, let me see if the manufacturer has some sort of discount that we can use in store to match that, because we'd like for you to buy his food from here. And so they're like, they can do a 10% off, and then for every, I think it was 8 boxes of food, you get the 9th free, which is a pretty decent deal. I can sometimes get a better one-time discount code online of like 20% off, but mostly I get a 10%. So it's like, that's a pretty hot deal. And then every 9th box, I get one free. And he goes through about 2 boxes of that a month. So it's like, yeah, every few months he'll get a free 2 weeks worth of food. That's not too shabby. So now I know I can go up there and start buying my stuff there. And then what else? Oh, so he gets green-lipped mussels, New Zealand green-lipped mussels. I've gotten it in a powder form. I've gotten it mixed in like treats, and then I've gotten them freeze-dried whole. And so when I went there, I was like, the only thing I'm really looking for today is some green-lipped mussels because we're out. And she's like, one of the employees was like, I think we have some freeze-dried. I was like, that's perfect. That's kind of the best that I've ever seen, is freeze-dried whole. And so she goes and pulls it, and she's like, okay, I got you a couple bags of those. I was like, perfect. Well, then I keep browsing, and one of the owners or one of the managers, we were walking. She was literally just following me and Apollo around the store. We were just chatting. It was really nice. I'm definitely going to go back up there. But we were just walking around the store, and she's like, oh, you have to, if you haven't, you have to try feeding him green-lipped mussels. And I was like, I do give him those. She's like, they're like the best for their joints and like hip health and stuff. And she's like, we just got 2 boxes of fresh frozen green-lipped mussels, and I set one aside in the back for myself, and there's 1 box out on the floor. And I was like, you mean to tell me they're like raw? And she's like, yeah, they package and ship them from New Zealand and ship them here. And I was like, no way. So it's I think it was 2 pounds of frozen but raw, fresh, raw green-lipped mussels, not freeze-dried, not a powdered form. And she's like, this is like the best way to give them is the whole thing like raw. And I'm like, holy crap. It's like, I'll take it. And then I get to the register, and I got him a toy, a tug of war toy. I got him some salmon oil. I got him a treat for the car. And then we got like one other thing. I can't remember. It was another, no, I think that must have been it. No, I also got him some of the collagen crunchies, the little chicharrones. And so she gives me the total, and I was like, oh my God. I knew it was, I was taking him out for a nice little treat, but oh my gosh. And I look at the receipt, those green-lipped mussels were like $40-something so it's like 20-something bucks a pound, which, they're mussels shipped from New Zealand. Like, what did I expect, like, for them to be affordable? But I will say that I looked at the size of the freeze-dried, like the weight of it, and it's far cheaper to do this 2 pounds of fresh raw than it is to buy them freeze-dried per ounce. So it's just because it's 2 pounds of them, it's a lot. And so that initial price shock hits you. But I'm like, oh, one of these packages would probably last him a few days, if not a week, for each pouch, and there's 4 pouches. So I'm like, okay, so I'm spending $40 a month on green-lipped mussels for my dog, but they're so good for their hip and joint health that I almost consider it a supplement, just to keep his joints and happy and healthy, and his hips. Dogs always have, as they get older, hip and joint issues, and if I can help to kind of mitigate that with him at an early age, then I'm gonna do it. So yeah, so they're thawing. The first pouch is thawing in the fridge right now. Are we gonna have a potty break? Yes, we are. Hold on. So yeah, the first pack of them is thawing in the fridge right now. So hopefully by tomorrow, they'll be thawed, and so I can start plopping 1 or 2 mussels in his bowl a day, and hopefully he likes them. But he had the salmon oil in his food when we got home today, and he looked very pleased. And what else was in there? Oh, I put a little bit of smoked salmon in there as well, from the Honey Smoked Fish Company. I had some of that, so I popped that in there for him. And yeah, he was like, oh, wow, we're getting fancy over here. So yeah, a little cutie butt. Yes. You got to be big and strong. That's right. So yeah, we did that today. Me and Joe went and got breakfast today together, and then we went over to our buddy Spencer's, my old roommate / landlord Spencer's place, chatted with him, and then Joe wanted to go to Lowe's because they had a really good deal on a trim nailer. So we went and got that, and oh, this sidewalk is new. Huh, that's nice. went and did that, and then came home, and then that's when we went up to the Moultons for a little stroll. But yeah, it kind of fell apart from there in terms of filming. So I'm gonna probably try to do a whip and jam tomorrow and take the drone up somewhere flat, maybe up to Boulder Reservoir or something in the morning after my live stream, and try to play with it some more, play with the drone some more. But yeah, the other thing I need to research is how to mitigate the sound or the buzzing, the humming, the drone noise on the microphone, because it was pretty loud. Not necessarily loud, but it was a consistent buzzing. It sounded like someone was running a vacuum cleaner in the background of my responding to your comments vlog. So I need to figure that out. The one after that I filmed, I recorded that audio separately before I started the drone up. So that's why it sounded so clear, is because there was no drone in that. So I've got to do some research. Come up here, Apollo, up here, up here. I'm gonna put you on this side of me. There we go. I got to do some research to see how I go about cleaning that up, because I would like it to be a little bit quieter, less noticeable that the drone's running. I'll do the best that I can. But I really like having the drone shots. The other thing I could do is film a bunch of drone shots as we're walking and just kind of pause you, do a little drone action, and then come back and keep talking, and then just splice it all together, you know? So the drone noise wouldn't impact the talking, but I'd have to be a lot more intentional with my filming. I can't just churn things on and go. I have to be like, okay, stop, turn off the camera, turn on the drone, walk for about 3 minutes with the drone. Okay, turn that off, turn the mic back on, keep filming your your vlog, stop, you know what I mean? So I'd love for it to just be fluid. I can talk, the drone's going, everything's fine. But I'll keep playing with it for sure. But yeah, and once I get an upgrade eventually, then that drone will be able to go much higher in the air and much far further away. So I can set it to be flying all over the place, and it'll be far enough away that we won't hear the noise of it. My buddy Alex, his drone is a few years old, and it's not even like the highest end one, and he turned it on at his house and flew it like all the way downtown. So you can so it'd be cool to have something like that where I can do shots of me from like super high up and stuff. It was very strange. This guy was standing on the other side of the street with his dog, and they just came to a dead stop and were just staring at us. And then as I walked by, they walked in like a different direction. So it's like, why were you even stopping other than to just stare? Maybe his dog would have like freaked out if they kept walking. I'm not sure, but it was weird. But anyway, let's come over here. Good boy. So yeah, we'll see. I mean, I'm definitely gonna upgrade if I continue to be interested in it, and it'll be cool to get like a legitimate one that I can do like super high up shots and go like, you know, a couple miles away while we're talking, you know. And like, yeah, just mess with it, just keep playing with it. DJI released their, it's called their Air 3S, and it's their newest drone, and it's getting a lot of really good reviews. So that just came out, like, I want to say about a month ago. But it's rumored that they're going to be releasing what they call their Mavic line, which is like their big flagship, top of the line, regular consumer drones, not their professional, like filming a movie drones. And it's called the Mavic line, and there's rumors that the newest one of those, which is called the 4 Pro, that'll be coming out. Well, rumor has it that it should be out between now and like March of next year. They don't know for sure. This is just a rumor that it'll be released in the next few months. So I'm like, do I wait for that one to be released, or do I get the one that's available now? But the thing about that is, the thing about that is the price difference between the Air and the Mavic. Let's see. Just to go off of the current one, that is somewhere in the range of $3,000 to $4,000, depending on where you go. It looks like for that top of the end, top of the line, top tier drone. So I would assume the new version will be of a similar price, which is massive. Whereas the Air 3S or whatever is like half that or less. So I'm like, do I wait so I can get like the top of the line, or do I? That's just too much money. That's just too much money. So I'll probably end up getting the Air 3S. I'm gonna keep watching review videos because it's only been out for a month, so I want to keep watching review videos of people using them long term and see how they feel about them. The other cool thing about that drone is it has a LiDAR sensor in it, and it has enhanced sensors all around. So it's supposed to be much better for filming at night. So it's not getting lost. And it does really good obstacle avoidance at night. So even if it's pitch black out, the sensors can still tell that there's a tree there or there's stuff around, even if it's not visible to the human eye, or it's just really dark, you know? So it's supposed to be really good for that. It's supposed to be good for taking like night shots of like cityscapes and stuff. So yeah. So I think I'm probably just gonna break down and get that one. I just can't see myself spending, oh, here's a drone for that. Like, you can get a car, like a used car for that, And I'm not like a pro, I'm not some super, crazy super pro. So I think the Air 3S is probably gonna be what I get. And then I can order that and have it here in like the next week or so and start messing with that. So that might be my Christmas gift to myself, I guess. That and new tires. I need new tires for the car. That's a practical purchase. But yeah, I'm getting really into it. I think this might be like a new little hobby, is doing like aerial photography and stuff, and having something that can actually track me in Apollo and avoid trees and go around trees, so as we're going through the woods and stuff. But it would be cool to have something that could do that, but it's high up, so it's over the trees, and you guys are kind of looking down at us from like way up high as we're walking. I think that'd be really cool. So yeah, I'm probably gonna end up getting that. And play with that a little bit, and yeah, I think it'll be fun. I think I want to start incorporating more of those shots into the videos and just kind of enhance the experience of the videos that I put together, and just add some cool little shots and stuff. I think that'd be a lot of fun. And when we go up camping and traveling, I can do some really cool like whip and jam montages and stuff. So I think it'll be a lot of fun. What do you think? Let me know. So that's that. Other life updates, work's going good. I finally finished, well, almost 100%. I'm just waiting to hear back from one of our supervisors on what she thinks, but the majority of my big project that I've been working on all year is done. I finished up the last of it and did a presentation to my supervisor on Thursday, so it's pretty much done. There's a couple edits that she wanted me to make, editing some videos that I put together for it, so I've just got to work on that. But other than that, the content itself is done. So that's good. What else? So yeah, I got that done, which is like kind of a huge stress relief. And then what else? I mean, work's going good. Work's going good. I think that'll take a lot of stress off of my shoulders. We have some pretty major roles that that opened up recently that I was assigned to. So that's kind of some high profile positions within the organization that I'm going to be responsible for doing the recruitment. So that's some pressure, but it's not going to be anything too major. But yeah, and health-wise, I had talked about having those weird like episodes, you know. Well, a couple days after I filmed that video where I'm like, I just need to rehydrate, that's what the nurse said. A couple nights after that, I started having them again, and it was really freaking me out. So I ended up going to urgent care, like the ER urgent care, at like 2 in the morning. This was just like about 4 days ago or so. And yeah, they ran all of my vitals, did blood work, everything, and they're like, you're looking good. So whatever it could be panic attacks or anxiety attacks brought on by something. The doctor was like, I've seen situations before where people have like heartburn or acid reflux and they've never really experienced that kind of chest pain that can come along with that. And so they kind of just spiral about it until they figure out what's going on. He's like, you could be dealing with stress and, you know, all sorts of stuff. But he's like, the electrolytes look good. Blood work's looking good. They did an EKG. That was fine. They did a whole bunch of stuff. He's like, we could either keep you here and keep poking and prodding you to see if we can uncover something. But just from my opinion, this seems like either stress related or being triggered by something like a heartburn. He's like, have you had stomach issues in the past? I'm like, oh yeah. And so he's like, maybe try taking some antacids, heartburn relief, and see if that calms down those like, you know, that pressure or pain that you're experiencing that's leading you to panic and think that you're having a heart attack or something's going on. And it's just so wild because I've never experienced that type of like anxiety, paranoia, panic where it feels like a physical manifestation of those things, like where I feel lightheaded or like I'm dying, you know. But then I talked to my supervisor about it and she's like, you'd have no idea how many times I ended up in the ER because I thought that I was dying and I was having a panic attack due to some stuff that was going on in my life at that time. She's like, I was in and out of the ER like 3 or 4 times thinking that was it, you know. And it was all, you know, stress, anxiety, panic related. And I was like, that is crazy. Like, I know people have panic attacks. I just didn't know what that meant, you know, or how it could manifest itself into something that felt like it feels very physical, like I'm gonna black out, or like like kind of a pressure in my chest, or like just like unable to kind of catch a breath, or having to like kind of take a gasp because I feel like I'm just gonna drop. And like tingling numbness in my hands, and like just like a pressury throb in my head, and like it was just wild. I've never experienced anything like that before. So I was like, okay. So yeah, it feel like it's kind of still, it flickers here and there a little bit. I did get some antacid / heartburn stuff just over the counter, and that actually did seem to help with the feeling that I was having in my chest. So I do have an appointment booked with a general practitioner just to talk about all of this and see if there is something that I should be doing as far as seeing a specialist for. And then I booked a tele assessment for a therapist, to see if there's anything I can do to help mitigate the panic and the stress and the anxiety that came along with this. So yeah, just very, very strange. Nothing I've ever experienced before. But yeah, it was a huge amount of it felt like it lifted off of my shoulders when the doctor came back and said, everything's looking good. Like, heart's looking good, not seeing any signs of heart attack, stroke, blood work looks good. Your electrolyte levels, white blood cell count, all of that stuff looks good. So physically, you are healthy. And just hearing that, like, really, like, I was just like, okay, like, now I understand that this is something else I need to address, but at least I'm not, like, I walked in there thinking, this is it. I'm having a heart attack, As I was driving there, I got like hit with another wave of that panic, and I just felt like I was gonna lose consciousness or lose control of my like own ability to keep driving. So I pulled over a little bit, and immediately like I dialed 911, and they're like, "What's your emergency?" I'm like, I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's going on. I think I might be having a heart attack. I don't know what this is. I don't know what this is. And I was almost to the urgent care. Like, I could see it was just like a little bit further down the block, but I thought I was gonna like have to pull over and just go, like, whatever. So I was like, okay, I should probably call 911 and tell them where I'm at on the road. That way they can, take me the rest of the way to the urgent care ER. And so they're like, I was like, I think I'm okay. I'm gonna drive to the parking lot. And they're like, if you feel like you can't drive, then pull over. I was literally like just outside the parking lot. I was like, no, I'm here, I'm parking. Okay. And they're like, we got to get a verbal confirmation that you are no longer in need of assistance. I'm like, no, I'm okay. I just need to go inside. And so I ended that 911 call and went inside, and they're like, the receptionist or the nurse at the desk or what have you was like getting my paperwork and my insurance and my IDs, and she's like, okay, sign here that you're consenting for us to be able to provide care, like, all the formalities. And in my head, I'm like, I'm dying. Like, I don't, can we do the legalese after after someone helps me? Like, I was like, why are you making me go through all this? But of course, like, I'm trying to be very polite in my head. So I'm like, just breathe, like, if this is, do not freak out on this person, like, just breathe. And so like, I'm literally standing there feeling like I can't even like really kind of support my own weight, like I'm full, just a mess. And I think the panic, like those feelings actually increased when I made the decision to go to the ER. That really set it off. And then when I got there and I'm like, what are they going to tell me? What are they going to tell me? What are they going to say? Is like, am I having a heart attack? Like, all this stuff's running through my head, and I'm just like losing it, like internally. But I'm trying to stand there, and like my hands are shaking, and I'm trying to sign this like electronic signature thing, and I'm trying to hold it together. But inside I'm like, lady, Come on. And so then they take me back. I'm laying there on the bed, and I'm still like, in it. And then they start running the tests, and the doctor's kind of like calming me down, being very calm with me. I wasn't freaking out, but like I'm sure he could hear me. Like I'd be laying there and I'd feel like another tinge of it, and I'd like I'd be like, like kind of gasping, like, and like trying to like breathe really heavy to like calm myself down. And he was like trying to keep me calm. And I told him, I was like, it's the panic of the fact that I'm having a panic attack. I was like, how do you get out of that cycle? Like, the attack is causing more attack. It's like, I've never experienced this before. I don't know what's going on. So anyway, so after they sent me on my way, I got back home, was able to get back to sleep and get like an hour of sleep before I had to go to work. And then I had to present that thing the next day. So it was just, it was a wild week, but I'm feeling better. I still feel like I get little waves of it, and I'm trying to track like when is it happening? Is it after I'm eating a meal, and then am I feeling like heartburning or acid refluxy, and that creates that like pressure in my chest, and then I'm like worried about it? Like I'm trying to figure out what it is, but it's nice to know that from a physical, from a physical standpoint, I'm not like cross my fingers, maybe a specialist will find something else, but I'm not like a ticking heart attack time bomb right now, which is what I thought I was. So yeah, just, and a lot of the time it feels like it's brought on when I'm thinking about something or I'm worried about something. Like even talking about it now, I feel like a little bit heightened or on edge. So I think I can correlate it to being something that is an anxiety, stress related thing. And I'm going to have to work on it, So yeah, just getting old sucks, and worrying about stuff, worrying about your mortality sucks. But yeah, so I don't know. I think one of my major goals for the rest of this year and just going forward is to make some more conscious decisions about just like mental health stuff and taking breaks, and recognizing when I'm pushing myself too hard or overthinking, obsessing, and recognize when those are happening, and rather than just shrug it off, deal with it, like try to really work through that, and not just be like, well, that's that, I don't know. This is all new territory for me in terms of like self-care. Yeah, because it's just not anything that's ever impacted me before. I could live with a very, for me, a very high level of stress or worry or anxiety, and just live in that like feeling in like a pressure cooker is inside of you, and you just get over it eventually. But it's like, well, apparently that has more lasting effects when you live the majority of your adult life kind of in and out of those phases, and now it's starting to like manifest itself in a physical way, and it's a little scary. But so I need to take it more seriously. I think getting a mental health care professional kind of in my routine will be helpful. So yeah. But I guess that's that. I'm headed back to the house because Alex and Spencer and the boys they lit a fire and they're hanging out back. So Joe just texted me a little bit ago. It's like, hey, do you want to come hang out with us? Where did you go? So I'm walking back to the house right now. But we'll quickly talk diamond painting. I have at the time of filming this, I have my second live stream for Mookamania tomorrow morning. So I'm going to try to get to bed early tonight, get up early enough to take Apollo for a morning walk, and then get everything set up for the live stream. I've got that going. As far as actual diamond paintings, The only thing that I've been working on is Medi, so I have no other updates on anything else. Yeah, so no progress on any other kits, nothing else kitted up. It's exactly the same as last time. But now Medi, I finished the entire top row, so I flipped it around and now I'm working on it top down. And I finished that entire top row, did a section last night, and then now, or I finished that section last night, started on the next row, so I'm almost done with the section on that next row. So I'm hoping by the end of the week I'll have that row done. And essentially I'm just, all of this to say I think I'm on track to finish it by the end of the event. I think so. I'd say I'm firmly in the 65 to 70% done category now, or status. So I'm hoping that I'll be able to finish it by the end of the event, but I'm not gonna put too much pressure on it. I'm just going with the flow. But yeah, that's really about everything. I filmed and posted my best of 2024 video that went up today at the time of filming this on the 16th. I posted last year's on the 19th last year. And I intentionally picked that timeline last year and then this year to do it a little bit earlier is because part of that is to be a tag question of your favorites of 2024 or of that year. But it also was originally meant to be kind of like if you're shopping for gifts or for presents for yourself or a diamond painter in your life, or you need to drop hints and you're wondering like, oh, what does Anthony prefer? Then it's kind of like my favorites of the year picks. If there's shops there that you haven't experienced before with, potential holiday sales and gift giving, might be a really good time to try one of those out. So that's kind of part of the intention there too. So I hope it went over pretty well. I listened back to it to do my editing before I, uploaded it, and I was like, do you really want to be that candid about everything? Or how, are we getting that real? Are we getting that honest? And are you gonna, you're gonna just say exactly what happened, huh? No vagueness, huh? Just straight up. I was like, yeah, I am. So I don't know. I hope it goes over well. I mean, there wasn't anything there that I haven't already said, but I think I said it the most succinctly and specific that I have before. But there's good stuff and there's some not so good stuff, and I've always been someone to share both sides of things, So yeah. But other than that, I'd like to get Medi done. If I get it done, it will get done, but once it's done, then I will be trying to work on either crusting or my Custom of Apollo or Phases by Yume Art until January 1st if I do finish Medi before the end of the year. And then once January 1st starts, then I'm going to be going all in on Wizard's Spell. And I'll probably pick a round drill kit to alternate with, just because squares can be a little bit much for me sometimes if that's all I'm doing. So I'd probably be able to finish up Phases during that time and then kind of take it from there. But I gotta get I'm gonna say this about every whip all the time, but I have been working on my Custom of Apollo if that's still going by April, it will have been a year that I started that kit. Come over here. So, that's definitely on the list. I want to get more progress done on crusting, and I might do a whip-in chat with crusting so I can talk about my experience with that kit so far, because I want to show it some love and talk more about it, because I do love working on it. It's just I haven't gotten very far. So I'm like, maybe I'll do a whip with crusting. So I've got that, and then, yeah, and then if I can finish, who knows. At the end of the day, my goals are, regardless of any other plans, what I'd like to get done is Medi, Wizard Spell, and the Heaven Beneath by next May. By the end of May, I'd like to have all the 3 of those kits done. Medi is pretty much a done deal. So it comes down to getting Wizard's Spell and the Heaven Beneath done between January and May. So hopefully I can get those knocked out. And I'd love to get Moon Girlfriend done next year so I can give that to Dom. So yeah, I've got a lot. But definitely Wizard Spell and Heaven Beneath, just because I Mia's event, but Heaven Beneath is for my friends and they're getting married in June. So I'd like to give that to them before we leave for Mexico for their wedding. So yeah. But I feel like I can't start it. I have it kitted up, ready to go. I feel like I can't start it until I get something in my whip pile finished. So once Medi's done, I'll probably open that up and start on it, which means there's going to be a lot of projects that just get kind of, my poor Custom of Apollo is just never going to get done. Cresting is going to take probably a long time, like maybe next summer is when I'll come back to it. But I wouldn't mind doing like an hour with Bin Chat where I just pick at that kit for an hour, just to give it some love. Yeah, I want to have a Creativity Scroll finish under my belt as soon as I can. So yeah, and we'll see what Black Friday brings in terms of purchases. But I hate to admit it, but I got a new release from Diamond Art Club today. I couldn't help myself. They released this Yume art kit that was just, I was like, gosh darn it, if that isn't just amazing. It's called, what is it called? You know what I'm talking about. They hit me good with that one. There was one that they did with these like star fruits. They look like oranges, but they're stars from Yume art, and it's like being squeezed into like a juice container. I like that shape and that idea, but I was just not super keen on the image, so I ended up not getting it. But this one, it's called Breakthrough. I mean, holy crap. I love it with the owl. It's beautiful. Beautiful. So I was like, yeah, you got my number this time. So yeah. I only really have, what? Hey. Are you really gonna wig out right here? Okay. Where did this come from? You get over here. Come here. Where did that come from? Okay, let's go. Hold on. Let me see your legs. Leg. Okay. Where did that come from? Come here. Yeah, Yume Art and Ivy Dolomore are really the only two that get me like that, where it's just like, well, I don't have a choice in the matter. This is just too cool. So I guess I'm lucky in that sense that I really only have two artists that can get me like that. And Ivy Dolomore, they haven't really released too much from her recently. They released a Christmas image of hers, but it was from what I could tell, it was a pretty substantial crop from the original image. So I was just like, meh, that's not really my bag. So I skipped out on that one, and I skipped out on that Star Juice one from Yume. But that Breakthrough one was too much. I couldn't take it. Couldn't take not getting it. Let's see if we can go across the bridge without tripping and falling. It is getting dark. So yeah, and then I have, I think it's Apotheosis, something like that, of the Slavs by Alphonse Mucha, and what is it called? Oh my gosh, another one from Jaded Gem Shop. It's the Song of Achilles one. Let's see. What is it called? We are all something? I forget. Let's see. Account. I Am Made of Memories. So I'll show you what it looks like. So I got that one. I Am Made of Memories. And I got that in square drill, 80 by 100. And then, I can't believe I got that in square. That's not like me. Okay. And then Apotheosis of the Slavs. I can't wait to see this one in person. Oh my goodness. That is a 80 by 90 in square. And I got that with glimmer drills charted. And I got I Am Made with Memories with glitter and ABs charted. So I've got those 3 kits a-comin'. It's got to stop at some point, right? I mean, I do take little hiatuses here and there, and I commit to them for as long as I can, but then I either just mentally need that little dopamine hit, or the FOMO catches up to me after a couple months of not buying anything, where I just am like, I could really go with something, a little something. So I'm never holier than thou when it comes to the diamond painting obsession, not at all. I do my best to curb my appetite for collecting diamond paintings as best I can, but I will never say never again. There's always going to be times where I'm like, all right, you got to hunker down. This is wild. You bought 10 diamond paintings this month. You got to take a couple month break or the summer off or whatever. But there's just too much beautiful artwork, too many awesome shops that I want to show some love. And I like sharing doing the unboxings and sharing those with everyone, so it's a never say never. We all do our best. I do my best. I have a feeling like that once I get Medi knocked out and move back into some kits that are of like an average size, because this one's average for me, but this one's 60 by 180. It's huge. So I think once I get that done and get back into some like more medium to large instead of extra large size projects, then I'll feel a lot better because I'll be having some more finishes. But yeah, this one's really just, it's taken some time. I've been working on it for 10 weeks now. 10 weeks, 11 weeks I've been working on this kit, and I'm only like 70% done. So yeah, it's been a project for sure. But it'll get done, and I'm having a lot of fun with it. I love working on that kit. Just put a podcast on or an audio book and just go to town. It's fun, especially working on it top down. I just got to some like really bright reds and oranges, so I'm actually getting some bright pops of color in my life now with this kit. So I've been looking forward to being able to work on this portion. So yeah, but anyway, we're coming back up on the house. I'm gonna drop Apollo off inside and then go out back and see what the boys are up to. But I will include some bloopers of the drone footage from earlier today, and I will also include, I did a little house plant showcase the other day. I was just I don't know, I was feeling my feels, and I was like, I want to show everyone my plants. It was completely random. It was like during lunch, I think, on a work from home day. It's like, I want to show everyone my plants, because I had just finished like watering everything, and I was like, I'm going to show these off. So I have like a little clip of my little house plant tour update, so that'll be in the mix too. But anyway, thanks for watching. I hope you have an excellent week. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share this content with friends, family members, anyone that you think might take some value out of it. Happy placing. We'll see you next time. Bye. 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 All right. Well, I just wanted to give you all a quick little update on my little plant area here. I don't know when I'll be adding this to any sort of vlog. I just got a wild hair. But this is the banana plant. The leaves, the older leaves that it came with, they're looking a little rough down here at the base. I did peel one of them off because this is a new leaf. This is a new leaf. You can see it's growing another one in there, but it gets so tight right here that they won't open up. So I peeled one off just to try to give this some more breathing room, because once I did that, this actually spread out. It used to look like this. So I'm wondering if I need to do that again with some of these older leaves and essentially just peel off all the old ones and let it start again. I'm not sure. I'm gonna let it try to fight its way out for a couple more days. And if it's still stuck, then I might just peel back these older leaves and just cut them down like I did here and here, and see if it'll open up naturally, because they just keep getting caught. Like you can see, there's still more leaf in there trying to come out, but it's been stuck like this for a while. But look, we've got a new banana plant baby. The first little leaf opened up, and then let's see, it probably won't focus. No, it won't focus, but there's another one in there that's coming up. So there's going to be a second stalk coming up soon. So that's really cool. And then this was a very random purchase a couple weeks ago. It's a Thanksgiving cactus. And as soon as I brought it home, it started dropping all of its little buds, which I've read is pretty common. But I did get one that looks like it's probably going to fully flower, that one here. So this is a pretty sad looking one. I got it on sale at the grocery store. They all looked pretty sad. Then I went to an actual garden center. I was like, oh, that's what they look like when they're healthy and nice. So I might keep this and see if it'll, after it drops its buds for the season, see if it starts sprouting new little cactus petals, and maybe give it a year. But if it's starting to look too rough, then this might be a goner, because the little buds just all started to get really crispy and falling off, unfortunately. But I did get that one, which is nice. It's kind of hard because the light's there. But yeah, there it is, that one bud. And then this is the zebra plant, which is a very strange little plant. I took a picture of it when I first got it, and the the flowers looked like that. But then, as it started to grow, it starts to put out these little flowers within it, if that makes sense. It's like a double flower. So it starts off like that, and then it starts putting out these little buds, and they start at the bottom and work their way up, and they kind of die off. So I've just been plucking them from the bottom up. So now this one, once that dies and starts to sag, I'll yank it out of there. So it goes all the way up to the top, and this one's starting to do it too. So you can see where they start by looking like that, and then they kind of It's a really interesting little plant, and people say it's not super easy to get them to flower, but this one has been going gangbusters. There's one, two, there's one hiding. You can't really see it, but it's in there. There's another one under here, and then there's one hiding. Where are you? There it is, hiding back there. So mine's looking pretty healthy. Some of the leaves got a little crispy on days where I wasn't watering it enough. This is a very thirsty plant. I water it sometimes twice a day because it just soaks up water, especially, I think it needs to be in a bigger pot, but it just sucks up water. And I got this little Scephalera something or other, and that's really cool. It was only $7.99, and I love the way the little babies look before they start to sprout. I think we have another set of babies hiding in there. You can barely see them. Can't really see them. Then there's another set right there, but they look so cute when they're so tiny, and then the leaves kind of spread open. So we'll see how well I do with that. Then we have my very out of focus, there we go, whale fin. Look at how big this sprout, or this pup is getting. It's getting huge. And then now it's got a little brother or sister back there growing. And then this is a little philodendron. This is, I forget what it's called, orange something, I forget. It's doing okay. It's not as pretty or as vibrant as I was hoping it was going to be, but it looks okay. I upgraded it. This was the old banana plant pot. And then there's the Hoya hanging out in there. Hasn't really grown much, but they're slow growers, but it looks happy and healthy, so that's good. I'm gonna let it dry out a little bit before I water it again. But yeah, I got my new Brita filter. That's some fertilizer water in there, regular water, extra soil spray. And then there's this plant. You can see the diamond painting I'm about to do an unboxing of. This is called a dumb cane. And yeah, it looks really cool. It's a very thirsty plant. I need to water that. But that's a very thirsty plant. But I got that fairly recently, a couple weeks ago. It's looking pretty. And then my pothos from the grocery store. This is like the most vibrant looking pothos I've ever owned. But I love it, and it's growing a lot of new growth. No, it doesn't need watering. Then we have my Apollo. Then here's the, I forget, Syngonium. This is a Syngonium. It's looking nice and healthy. Soil's feeling, it'll probably go another day or two before I need to water it. And then this is the oldest plant I have. This is a pothos, and it's coming back around. I messed up the soil by just dumping fertilizer on top without mixing it, and it started to, you can see some of these leaves are looking a little worse for wear. It started to show signs that it was dying. Look at this one. Oh. It started to show signs that something was very wrong, so I repotted it with some new soil, and it's putting some new leaves out again, and it's starting to show signs of being happy again. So this poor thing, I have abused this plant. It used to have I think is this root right here. It used to go from our second story all the way down to the first story, but then when I moved, I cut it. And I've chopped this thing up, I've overwatered it, I've underwatered it, I have tried to kill this thing so many times, but it is a very resilient plant. I've had it for probably coming up on 4 years now. So there's that. And then we've got our Philodendron Brazil. It's growing pretty slow. You can see it's got a couple new little nodules there for rooting. And then I think this might be a new leaf. Yeah. So it's got some new growth here and there. It's a slow one. I'm trying to get it to start climbing those trellises, but we'll see. Then we have my other snake plant. This is just like a regular snake plant. It's doing good. It's got a little leaf growing in there. The soil's damp, but this thing can dry out pretty good without any issue. And I think that's everyone, at least that's here. There's some upstairs, but that's everyone. So anyway, just thought I'd share. Okay, bye.